Hey guys, welcome back to Twin Flicks, where we always here celebrating the magic of movies and physical media with you. Now, Audition first arrived on Blu-ray from Arrow Video in 2019 with a 2K scan from the Interpositive, which looked great. I honestly didn't think that this could look any better than it does right here on this Blu-ray, to the point I thought that this Blu-ray was the final word on a new transfer. However, it was also, as I said, from the Interpositive, which means there were limitations with this 2K scan. Well, Arrow Video has once again put right with what once went wrong, bringing Audition to the 4K UHD format, sourced from the original 16mm negative, forming a 4K DI with HDR10 Dolby Vision grading, scanned at 16-bit, and preserving its 1:8:5:1 theatrical ratio. The 4K restoration and color grading was supervised and approved by the film's DP, its director of photography, to ensure accuracy. And I think this is going to be a really interesting comparison because, again, I've always been very happy with this 2K scan on this Blu-ray. So let's see if this 4K is actually worth the upgrade. Now, being a new scan, this time from the original negative and in 4K, it definitely benefits the film with substantial improvements in texture, depth, clarity, and finer details across the board. And then even more so when I compared it to the 2019 2K Blu-ray. From skin textures to costume fabrics, from facial details down to environmental elements with the production design, with interiors and exteriors, and also subtle background information, does show noticeable gains in resolution and dimensionality that was very lacking on the 2019 Blu-ray. Also, when I compared the 4K to the 2019 Blu-ray, the film, it felt more intimate and tactile, I want to say, especially during the infamous finale that now feels even more immersive and visceral. There are some scenes here and there that remain inherently softer, but this is just due to the 16mm origins and also the stylistic choices of the production with diffusion and lighting. But they are infrequent, and again, it's just simply a byproduct of the original photography and not from a poor 4K transfer. Now, I have to mention something here that did bother me a little bit with this transfer, and that is with the highlights. There are scenes that look very blown out compared to the 2019 Blu-ray. For example, this scene here. Look at the paper. The shadows from the blinds behind him run over the paper on the 2019 Blu-ray. However, on the 4K, the paper looks really blown out. You can't see the shadows. Or this scene here, it just looks overly hot to me, especially when compared to the 2019 Blu-ray. It is only a few scenes here and there, and I don't honestly know if this is how the film's director of photography wanted these scenes to look, but it's also not overly intrusive or a deal breaker upgrading to this 4K, because the benefits highly outweigh some of the negatives. This could be how the film's director of photography wanted these scenes to look. I just simply don't know, so I can't really give it a negative. I did notice though the 4K image stability is much stronger than the 2019 Blu-ray, especially with subtitles that are no longer slightly wobbly, and the higher resolution delivers a significant increase in rendering cleaner, finer lines, giving way to the absolute sharpest and clearest image possible. And the 4K scan excels at cleaning the image, which is something to be said when you look at the 2019 Blu-ray that had many inconsistencies with different artifacts, debris, and even density fluctuations that plague the 2019 Arrow Video Blu-ray. The 4K scan has now cleaned this while also faithfully preserving the inherent qualities from the production baked into the negative intact. Now, another area of note that's worth discussing here, and that is a decision the film's DP made. He employed a foggy, dreamlike quality in many scenes that used harsher contrast, while other sequences used more clinical lighting. And this was used to slowly build up the film's uneasy feeling throughout, and also to support the film's radical psychological shifts in tone. And Arrow Video's 4K restoration and grading fully respects and maintains this from the original source material, the original negative, when the 2019 Blu-ray simply did not have this. Now, a highlight here with this 4K is with the HDR10 and Dolby Vision grading that enhances what's already there by widening the dynamic range and color gamut, and maintains a more naturalistic palette than what we had on the 2019 Blu-ray. And the standouts here are definitely the deeper reds and cobalt blues and the deeper oranges. The 4K has much better and accurately displayed skin tones now that is naturally warm, and that's thanks to the improved saturation that has been elevated but also controlled and tasteful, and never appearing artificially applied or overtly hot, where the image now exudes a natural warmth across the 4K image, unlike the 2019 Blu-ray where the image looks slightly colder. And contrast here has been handled with care. The HDR10 Dolby Vision grading widens its dynamic range while maintaining the ideal balance between bright and dark areas, and also yields accurate light levels that improves color timing throughout the film. Another benefit here with this 4K and the HDR10 Dolby Vision grading are with the black levels that are very striking, with deep, stronger blacks and improved depth with stronger shadow detail. And what this does now is it really allows for finer details and textures to really come through the darkness with stronger visibility, even within those darkest and murky corners. Now, for a film being shot on 16mm, it does have a heavier grain texture compared to a film shot on 35. And while the 2019 Blu-ray did have some grain, it definitely also had some generational loss due to the interpositive being used. Here, coming from the original 16mm negative, the 4K scan retains its natural and heavy grain structure that gives the film its authentic theatrical 16mm look. Alright, now let's dive into the audio presentation, and this does differ from the 2019 Blu-ray because it includes 3 different audio tracks. Each have been remastered in lossless DTS HD. The first one we have is the original Dolby SR stereo. The second is a theatrical 4.0 surround mix. And the third is the DTS HD surround mix that was also used and remastered for the 2019 Blu-ray. But the question remains, with all 3 audio tracks, which one sounds the most authentic? Which one sounds the best? And each track sounds great and just really depends on your personal preference. Now, the 2 tracks I did stick with was with the 4.0 track, and that is a very strong choice here for those wanting a more authentic theatrical feel while also wanting a discrete surround use, minus the subwoofer with the extra bass. I will say though, that while the 4.0 is definitely a great choice, I did end up sticking with the 5.1 mix. I noticed that the 5.1 track offers a more expanded and immersive audio experience, and also the inclusion of the extra bass with the added sub-channel does give the film that extra oomph that's missing on the 4.0 mix. But overall, either the 4.0 or the 5.1 track works and offers excellent audio that sounds crisp, clear, and immersive, with strong and effective sound effects that has some excellent directional panning. Dialogue is clean and clear on any track and is never overpowered by the music or the sound effects. Guys, Arrow Video's 4K UHD presentation of Audition delivers a highly impressive and immersive experience with substantial improvements in both video and audio quality that definitely makes this one an excellent upgrade from the previous 2019 Blu-ray or any other Blu-ray that you have from the past, especially if you're a fan of the film. If you don't have a 4K setup, this Blu-ray is still excellent, and it looks just as great now as it did back in 2019. But now head over to the comment section and let me know, when you look at the differences here between Arrow Video's 4K UHD against Arrow Video's 2019 Blu-ray, which do you think looks better? Or do you see any difference at all? Do you think it is worth upgrading to the 4K? Let me know over in the comments. As always, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes here as we dive in to take a closer look at Audition on 4K UHD and comparing it to the 2019 Blu-ray. As always, keep physical media alive, and we'll see you next time with another 4K versus Blu-ray comparison.
Twin Flicks presents 4K versus Blu-ray comparisons.